the world community, there is a growing concern about the abuse and depletion of finite natural resources. Simultaneously, there is a growing concern about the rapidly increasing number of people who must be fed. The prospect of global hunger in the 21st century is very real and very near. The focus during the last 30 years has been on increased agricultural production and improved technology. It is now shifting to an emphasis on agricultural practices and projects which are sustainable, which steadily produce the most with the least damage to the natural environment, such as the United States Agency for International Development and the World Bank have in recent years incorporated environmental assessment studies into their project design, monitoring, and review procedures. Planners and developers, economists and ecologists, scientists and politicians, a multi-interest group are now giving a lot of thought to the problem of achieving the necessary balance between meeting present and future basic human needs while conserving, or better yet, restoring natural resources. Pakistan is a country which illustrates the global dilemma. Its urgent need for economic development, compounded by the demands of a rapidly growing population, is placing enormous stresses upon its natural resources. Pakistan is an agricultural nation and has been for many centuries. The Indus River Valley has been under continuous cultivation perhaps longer than any other place on earth. How can this land continue to support the people who live on it and provide equally well, or better, for generations to come? Because they believe that the problems require the provincial perspective, the government of Pakistan and the USAID went to the people in May of 1990 in the northwest frontier province, Sindh, Punjab and Balochistan. Conferences were sponsored locally by the agricultural universities in Peshawar and Faisalabad and the planning and development departments in Karachi and Quetta. The next step will be an action-oriented national conference in Islamabad for Pakistani and international policymakers. The agenda will be based upon the provincial findings. The participants will have a broad range of interests and expertise and represent non-government agencies, private sector investors, private volunteer organizations, and other donor agencies, as well as Pakistani national, provincial, and local governments. The primary objective of the provincial conferences was to hear the people who actually face the problems every day, identify, rank in order of importance, discuss, and suggest solutions for key social, economic, environmental, and natural resource management issues affecting the sustainability of agriculture in their region. Other objectives were to increase public awareness of interconnections of local, national, and global issues, to arouse thinking about the meaning of agricultural sustainability by defining it, and to bring together as active participants, perhaps for the first time ever, a diverse group of Pakistani farmers, fishers, and livestock growers, academics, businessmen, and a few local government leaders. Each conference was held in a local hotel. Participants signed the guest book. Each conference opened with recitation from the Holy Quran. The conference participants were a richly diverse group. Yes, there were some ladies present, and they were later heard. And there were breaks for tea, lunch, and dinner. A short inaugural assembly at each conference included brief welcoming comments by the workshop chairman, AID Chief Representative Dr. Ronald Senikoff.
In the global sense, we are all linked through the broad international flows and geographical distributions of the world's natural resource systems. In this two-day workshop, we cannot begin to address the challenge for finding solutions at the global level.
At the first plenary session, the facilitators presented brief papers describing the concept of agricultural sustainability and outlined the agenda for the next 2 days. All conferences were conducted in English, but instant translations, written and oral, were made in Urdu, Pashto, Punjabi, Sindhi or Balochi and back into English as appropriate.
The chairman will have 5 minutes in which to present the recommendations and how we are going to implement the recommendations.
हर चेयरमैन को 5-5 मिनट का वक्त दिया जाएगा जिसमें वो अपनी सिफारिशात पेश करेंगे और साथ ही ये भी बताएंगे कि उन सिफारिशात पर अमल कैसे किया जाना चाहिए.
The initial plenary session was conducted as a scoping session, with participants encouraged by the facilitators to offer definitions of agricultural sustainability pertinent to their personal experience, and then to volunteer a wide range of issues which they thought impacted upon agricultural sustainability in their area.
Now in sin, as far as I believe and I see, I can define it this way: agricultural sustainability in sin. Number one is security. Can the farmer, the producer, can he go on his farm in peace and work there? Number one problem right now is security. Now I see it as affordable agricultural inputs available at time of crop plantation, unhindered irrigation water supply, fairness in tax collection, and non-interference of government in commodity marketing.
I think we should take out some people, leave some people for production, and then we should develop agro-based industry and transfer these people to those, because everybody is doing agriculture because they don't find any other jobs.
Pesticides were named as a major issue in the Punjab, the most intensively farmed of Pakistan.
Which we are teaching to the students of medicine, and 5% DDT, hydrocarbon, is persistent. It was banned in the United States after the book of Raphael Carson, Silent Spring, in 1963.
Farmers' lack of education was repeatedly named as an important issue.
We all know that farmer, especially the small farmer, is the most important human resource and a vitally important input needed for successful operation of sustainable agriculture. First and foremost, we know that our literacy rate is very, very low. In the case of rural population, it comes to about 17%. And in case of rural women folk, it is still lower.
The participants were then asked to select by written ballot the issues they considered most important. The first 8 to 10 issues so selected became the subject of in-depth group discussions. Initially, participants signed up for the issue groups of their choice, but to achieve more even numbers and diversity of experience, assignments were made by the facilitators in later conferences. The first task of discussion groups was to elect a chair and a secretary. The final task was to present at the closing plenary session a 5-page summary report, complete with suggested practical solutions. Group discussions were lively. The presentation of reports dominated the final plenary sessions. But not everyone agreed with the reports. There were additional comments.
Because, for example, the donor agencies, they do provide the aid, but they don't consider when they will leave this job, when the project will be terminated, what will be in the future of that institute. So this is very important that the government agencies as well as the donor agencies, they should consider this point that when they leave the job and when they leave this project, what will be the future of this organization.
And some farmers continued the discussion after others went home. Although the order of importance varied amongst the provinces, the 10 most critical issues impacting upon agricultural sustainability were identified as: almost equal time in the final plenary sessions was given to reviewing and revising definitions of agricultural sustainability.
This development process may be termed as development without destruction, which should leave the natural resources intact and improved for our future generation.
Again, by vote of the participants, one definition was selected as the most appropriate to each province. In the Northwest Frontier Province, agricultural sustainability is improving the productivity for the general welfare of the people, along with maintenance and enhancement of natural resources, with the aim of striking a balance between basic human requirements, productivity, and the environment. In Sindh, sustainability is defined as achieving and maintaining the quality of life for all rural people, both present and future. This can be achieved through various ways, the most relevant of which are imposition of the rule of law guaranteeing protection and security, satisfaction of basic human needs in an equitable manner, and increased productivity and natural resource enhancement, which should leave the environment improved. for future generations. In the Punjab, agricultural sustainability is a system which is productive, profitable, preserves the natural resource base, protects the environment, contributes to the improvement in human health and welfare, and can be sustained over time. In Balochistan, agricultural sustainability is to utilize the natural resources of water, soil, and climate for the benefit of the human race and to conserve them for the sake of future generations. Dr. Senikov closed each conference with sincere thanks to all participants, a reminder of the coming national conference and a look to the future.
So here today, with these discussions, we are at a crucial point in the history of Pakistan.
However, the last words in the last conference at Quetta were spoken by one of the participants.
हम भी यूएसएड के शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं क्योंकि उसने बलूचिस्तान की ज़राअत की तरक्की में पहले भी बहुत अच्छे इक़दाम किए हैं, मगर मैं समझता हूँ उन इक़दाम के अलावा जो अब उसने ये सेमिनार की है और इतनी सिफारिशात लेके इन पे जो इक़दाम करेंगे वो ज़्यादा मशहूर होंगे। इन्हीं अल्फाज़ के साथ हम फिर दोबारा इनका मशहूर